The first half of this book is about the rewriting of the past using genetics from a time when there were at least 4 human species on Earth, right up to the kings of Europe into the 18th century. The second half is about who we are today and what the study of DNA in the 21st century says about families, health, psychology, race, and the fate of us. Both parts are drawn from using DNA as a text to sit alongside the historical sources we have relied on for centuries: archaeology, rocks, old bones, legends, chronicles, and family histories. Although the study of ancestors and inheritance is as old as humans, genetics is a scientific field that is young, with a difficult, short history. Human genetics was born as a means of measuring people comparatively, such that the differences between them could be formalized as science and used to justify segregation and subjugation. The birth of genetics is synonymous with the birth of eugenics, though at the time, in the late 19th century, that word did not carry the same toxic meaning that it has now. There are no more controversial subjects in all of science than race. People are different from each other, and the weight of those differences is something that has caused some of the deepest divisions and cruelest, bloodiest acts in history. As we will see, modern genetics has shown how we continue to get the whole concept of race so spectacularly wrong. Humans love telling stories. We're a species that craves narrative, and more specifically, narrative satisfaction, explanation, a way of making sense of things, and the ineffable complexities of being human, beginnings, middles, and ends. When we started to read the genome, what we wanted to find there were narratives that tidied up the mysteries of history and culture and individual identity, that told us exactly who we were and why. Our wishes were not satisfied. The human genome turned out to be far more interesting and complicated than anyone anticipated, and that included all of the geneticists who remain ever more gainfully employed a decade on from the so-called completion of the Human Genome Project. The truth of this complexity and our lack of understanding is struggling to filter down into what we talk about when we talk about genetics. We once spoke of blood and bloodlines as a means of tying us to our ancestors and describing our familial selves. It's no longer in the blood, it's in our genes. DNA has become a byword for destiny, or a seam running through us that seals our fates. But it is not. All scientists think that their field is the one that is least well represented in the media. But I'm a scientist and a writer, and I believe that human genetics stands out above all as one destined to be misunderstood. I think because we are culturally programmed to misunderstand it.